Alright guys, welcome back to Nifty Network. Today we have a 350Z on the lift, and the axle, what we're doing basically, I'll just say it first, we're putting 370 hubs and 370 axles in this. These ones are a little dried, a little rusted. The customer is going single turbo and he doesn't want to have any issues, so 370 axles are way stronger, 370 hubs are way stronger, and you can run them very easily. So I'm going to show you today how to do that. First things first is we're going to pull the tires off. So I had said a minute ago that the reason we're doing this is to kind of secure more power safely. That is one perk of it, and then the other perk is that they're just way stronger. So I had a 350Z that was super slammed, and I was going through axles left and right. So I put 370 ones in, and they lasted way longer. So even if you're super slam stance boy, not saying I was super stance boy, slam boy, but if you're super fast boy, kind of stance boy, super stance boy, 370 axles and hubs are the good swap for your 350Z. So let's get these beautiful wheels off of here. I'm going to take my time with this. Larry Hoovers, man.
Big Johns.
Big Johns. And if you're dealing with like nice wheels, they have these sockets that have protectors on them so you don't scratch the wheels. You should get yourself a set. Big old spacers on there too. Okay, so next thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna pull these calipers off, and with that we're gonna need a 19. So there's one bolt on the bottom, and then there's one bolt up at the top. Once those are broken loose, just kind of hold on to the caliper, give it a little wiggle, and you can work them bolts out all the way. Okay, we have both of these bolts out. Let's get this caliper off. And once we have the caliper off, what I like to do is there's like a little hook, or not a hook, but there's a factory brake line. You can actually tuck the caliper back up there and out of your way so that it doesn't just free hang on the line. Then you're going to take your rotor, slide your rotor off. That's going to expose the hub, and we'll go do the same thing to the other side. Alright, let's get this guy out of the way again. Pull this rotor off. Next we are going to grab my axle nut socket, which is a 32. Get that ready on the gun, and grab some cutters. And I go over to the cotter pin, bend this up. Come on. Bend that up, get that out of there. Get the axle nut out of there, and we'll go do that on the other side. Dang, his hubs are about to fail. And lastly, also for this video, when you're in here, just kind of move your hub around to see how it's looking, because if it does that, that means your hub's blown. Alright, so gosh, that's so bad. We see that this axle is free, which is always nice. Now we're gonna go up with the lift. Once we have the lift up, we are going to drop the sway bar down. That is not a 17. That is a 14. What are you doing, Sheldon? And you may be wondering, if you do axles, you're like, why are you dropping the sway bar down? You don't need to do that. You do, because it makes it way easier to get the axle boot out of here instead of just yanking and destroying everything. The 4 simple nuts that gives you twice the amount of clearance. So get that out of the way. Now we're gonna go to the top of the axles right here, and we're just gonna start taking these things off. These are 14s as well. This is the only part that stinks about doing axles, is the axle nut always gets stuck inside. At least it kind of helps you keep them organized. What I do when the nut gets stuck in the socket, I'll pull the bolt out, and I will pull the nut out of the socket with that. I'm blown away at how bad his hub was.
I mean, how many miles does this car have?
100. But it's these big wheels.
Ah, extra weight.
Yeah. Alright, so that is the last one. Be kind of aware of the axle above your head, because it could fall out and smack you if you're not careful. Okay, now we have all the hubs are loose and the flanges are loose off of the axle. What I like to do is I'll put my hand on the outside of the hub and I'll kind of just push and give it a little twist, and that normally takes it out pretty easily. So there's one out. Let's do the other side now. Alright, so there's the last axle bolt. Let's droop that down. Now, same thing as the other side. We already know that this is loose because I already pressed on it. So let's give that a little shimmy shimmy. Get it out of here. Now we're going to remove the hubs. And the hubs are 17s. For this, I like to use this is a fixed wobbly. So it's a 17 that's always on the wobbly. Makes it so it just doesn't go flying. And since it's kind of tied up in here, it just makes your life way easier. So we've got 4 of them. Too aggressive of an angle. And when you're getting to that last one, make sure to hold the hub, because it will come flying out. Of course, the one time I say to hold the hub, it doesn't come flying out. Normally they come flying out. This one looks like it's been a little rusty. On to the other side, we're going to pull these 4 17s out of here. This one too, that's so crazy. Alright, so the hubs are out. These have extended studs in them, and I'm going to want to reuse those, so I'm going to press those out really quick. Alright, so if you don't have a press, which I have a press over there, but I'm showing you, if you don't have a press, the way I do it is I'll grab a lug nut, an old one, not the one that you are running on your car. We're going to thread this all the way down. And we're going to go on the concrete, and you want to hold this steady. Just give it a couple smacks and it'll come right out.
So how come you have to use a lug nut instead of just smashing straight on it?
Because if you just smash the head, these are really nice studs. These are ARP studs, and you don't want to like knurl the tip up. This one's gonna be a pain. Why is everything always so rough?
Little vice action.
Looks like this lug nut or this stud may have like a little knurl on it on the threads, which is why, yeah, there's a little piece right there. So we'll rethread that, that'll be fine. But that's why that lug nut got kind of weird. So we're gonna throw that one away and we're gonna get another one. Alright, we have our studs out now and our old hubs in the trash. Oh, I have a screwdriver in my side. You saw that?
Yeah.
Bro, it got me good.
I've done that to my. Oh dang, you got skinned.
Alright, so I put this hub in the vise because I don't want to just smack this for unnecessary reasons. So I put the flange inside of the vise. Now I'm going to tap these out because we don't need these anymore. And I'm not using a lug nut because I don't care if I mess these up. And the reason I'm covering the back of these is because his really nice wheels are right back there and I don't want them to go flying and hit them. Alright, so we have these out now. We can slide our new ones in. And with these you'll see there's like grooves in here. So what I try to do is I'll kind of get it to like lock in a little bit. And then I have this tool over here. And this is for setting lug nuts in. What makes it cool is there's a bearing on the back of this. So it allows the cone of the lug nut right here to sit in there and it sits perfectly flat. Alright guys, yesterday we ran out of time. It is a new day. I'm going to leave off kind of right where we did. The studs are pressed in, the extended studs are in, axles are over there. I'm just going to jump right into it. We're going to take this hub and we're going to take our hardware. We have 4 17s that we need to grab. There we go. And these are specific, not side specific, but like up or down. So it's really hard to tell because the shape of this, it's so close that you just want to make sure. I mean, you'll know right away if you have it in the wrong way, but you can come look on the back side and see if the holes line up. There's holes that line up right there, and clearly we're lined up, so we're clear to send the hardware through. Alright, so I got those 2 top ones in. Now I'm going to put the 2 bottom ones in. Alright, so those are all pre-threaded by hand. We'll grab the impact. And when I'm putting this in, I tighten these like opposite corners. So I'll do top left, bottom right, bottom left, top right. Just so that you're tightening it on opposite ends so that it goes down evenly. Then I'll hit that first one more time just to make sure. Alright, so that's good. We can now grab our axle. And on the passenger side is longer. I'm going to grab a little bit of anti-seize. This helps the axle not seize if you ever need to replace it. So we're just going to put a little on there, and then I'll put some in the hub. I just try to make it so that each spline has a little bit. It may look like I put a lot on. This stuff is just a completely different color than the axle and the hub, so it kind of stands out. All right, so we're going to grab this. And if you're using brand new axles, I respect you because that's baller. So we're gonna pop that clip off. The reason that's there is to keep the hub, or the little plate that holds the axle all together. It's not gonna fall apart, but they put it there. If you want to get this off, you slam it on the ground and it'll come out. But we will grab our axle. Passenger side is the longer one. We're gonna go up in there, line that up, and it should go in oh so smoothly. Then we're going to grab our hardware. So these bolts have, these axles have 6 bolts that hold these flanges together. And I use 370 hardware if you have a 350. So if we come over here, the 80 axles, they have the ones with the small shoulder on them. And the 370 ones have the longer shoulder, and they have longer studs as well. So I use 370 hardware as well, just so you know. Or if you don't have 370 hardware laying around, you can grab grade 8 bolts also. Make sure that you don't just grab super cheap, not very strong bolts, because you'll find out right away. First time you do a clutch kick or you do a pull, or you're driving on the freeway and then your axle starts smacking the bottom of the car, that's because you used the wrong hardware. So I put all these in, and then I'll go back through it and tighten them up. And then you may be wondering, is this a different car or what happened? It is not a different car, but what I was doing before we started filming to finish the video is I did the diff bushing in the subframe, and then I also did diff bushings on the front ears. And we also did a high capacity Z1 diff cover as well. So this guy wanted to kind of go through once we started a project, he's like, just do this, do that, do this, do that, do that. And now we're here and we have one more side to do. Some people agree with this and some people won't. I like to start this, like I'll get everything in, get everything hand tight, and then I'll go back through it with the impact and tighten everything. So let's put the anti-seize on here again. Blop, 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 blop. So let's put this in. And the reason I tighten the hubs first is because you can't tighten them after the axle goes in. So let's get this in here. Nice and freshy. We got that in there. We got the hub in there. Let's tighten this down. Alright, that is done already. We're going to grab just a little bit on here, come over to the hub, and don't judge my new hat, or not my new hat, my new headlamp. My other one died, so it is what it is. We're just going to throw a little anti-seize in there. And that's what that'll look like after. And the driver's side is the shorter side. We're going to go up over the e-brake cable and into the hub. Like so. Then we'll slide those flanges together. Alright, so I got all the inner axle bolts in. I'm going to tighten these down. It's a 14 on each side. Alright, so that's all those on this one. Now we will do this side. Alright, now we got our fresh nuts and washers and retainers and our clips. So we'll open these up. Ah. Nissan baggies are so strong. These are Nissan cotter pins. Kind of cool. Let's grab all these. We'll come over here. Actually, I'm going to put a little anti-seize on there as well because it didn't hit it. This one I'm not going to do that much just so that it doesn't sling everywhere. I'm just going to go up on the top and kind of tap it like that, because when I thread it down, it will spread it evenly. Oh, forgot something. I'm literally holding it in my hand. You want to put a washer down first. So that goes first. And then this guy will go. We'll grab my impact, make this a little quicker. That's threaded on. Make sure that is tight. Then we're gonna grab a, I forget what these are called. What are these called? Those are, it's like a castle nut. No, I don't know. We're gonna put that, the retainer on there, and then we're gonna put the clip through it. So we're just gonna tap this down. And once it is all the way down, we're just gonna bend this up. Like that. And then this side is done. Let's go to the other side. A little anti-seize for this side. Same thing as the other way, or on the other side. Just do a little line on the top. I'm gonna put that right there for now. I'm gonna put my washer on. Yump. Put my nut on. Yump. Grab our retainer. Slide our clip through. Let's get that so that it is going that way. We're gonna bend this way. And I always try to do it like so. See how this is like making noise in there still? I try to do it so that the cotter pin is actually holding the retainer clip down like that on the top, so that when you bend this down, it actually pulls that down and you don't have unnecessary noise. So that's on there good now, doesn't make noise. All right, so we actually finished the axle and the hub install, but since we're still here, I'm gonna get the rest of the car back together and you guys can hang out and watch. So right now I'm putting the sway bar back on. Those are 4 14mm nuts. Get that on there. Get that one on there. Grab the impact. Now we can grab our rotors. Slide those down the lugs. Like that. Then we're going to grab our caliper. And when you're putting your caliper back on, make sure that the line back here doesn't have a kink in it, because it's easy to kink these lines. Slide that into place. And we're going to grab our bolts that put these on it, and there is actually anti-seize on these as well. You can kind of see it on the bolt right there. All right, so there's that one. There's that one. We'll get this as much as I can with my fingers, and then I'll come back with my ratchet or my wrench and tighten that up all the way. All right, I'm gonna grab my wrench. Okay. Okay, so that one's good. We'll hit the top one more time. There we go. Now we can do the other side. This wasn't supposed to be part of the video, but I looked over and I seen something missing. These are cheap clips. Clearly they go there and there. He probably didn't even know they were gone, but now they're there. Back to the spacers. We're gonna grab 5 lug nuts. These are pretty cool because these just slide on, they don't bolt on. So that goes there. Let's grab a wheel. Alright, so that wraps up how to install 370Z hubs and axles on a 350Z. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.